Hey Taurus, welcome to your July 2020 Tarot reading. I'm going to jump right in and get started. So the first card you have is the Page of Pentacles. And what I'm seeing is something that you've been working on for a long time. The results come in, whatever that is. And it's good. Basically, it's something you've been working on for a long time. And you had to stop working on it. Like, it was done and you had to walk away from it and wait to find out the results, if it was successful or not. So at the beginning of the month, you're not really working on it or doing anything with it, and then all of a sudden a message comes that tells you that it turned out good. This could be a work project. Maybe it was a relationship that you were working something out with someone and you guys had time apart, and then it gets resolved and the outcome is good. It could be having to do with your finances or money. It could be an investment. It could be an academic matter. Maybe you're hearing back about a paper or dissertation. It's something like that. Work, money, academic, a relationship perhaps. But the good news comes and then you're celebrating. You're in a celebratory mode. And this is something you've been thinking about for a while and have been wanting. And when it comes, it just kind of falls in your lap. Like, there was a lot of effort before, but when it comes, it's a little unexpected, and it's just like all of a sudden you're celebrating this thing that you had been working on for a while. Now it comes to fruition. It almost maybe had felt stagnant for a while, like you were getting a little impatient, like, oh man, like, I don't know what happened with this, I want to know. And then, like, you finally kind of let it go and stop thinking about it, and then all of a sudden you find out that it worked out. Whatever you wanted, you got. So that's really nice for you, Taurus. What's interesting about this Page of Pentacles energy that I'm feeling for you very strongly is that when you were working on this thing, whatever it was, you were very curious and easygoing about it. Like, you were free-flowing. And I don't feel like that's your typical way of doing something as a Taurus. I feel typically you might be a little bit more rigid and strict with yourself and others, but for some reason with this project, you were more like in a beginner's mind mode, like a student mode, and you were really free-flowing with it very naturally. And the message and lesson here is that is part of why it was so successful, because you kind of went into a beginner's mode and let this flow freely through your being. And that is part of the reason why you were so successful, Taurus, because you kind of let yourself go a little bit. No, that's not the right way to say it. You kind of unrestrained yourself to do this project. And that's why it was successful. The next card is the Seven of Swords, and I'm seeing that, and this can mean different things. A lot of times it can mean theft or stealing or falsehood. For here, I'm seeing that toward the middle of the month, you're resisting a change or transformation that needs to happen. And I feel, for some reason, might sound a little weird, but I feel like you have been and are using other people's words and ideas and applying them to yourself, but almost like self-help stuff maybe, but it doesn't, or beliefs, spiritual beliefs, but it doesn't really fit you or your situation. It's like you're lying to yourself. Like, you're misapplying some concept or dogma. Like, you think that you have it right, but you're not. Like, I'm sorry, Taurus, some of you might want to click off right now and not want to listen to this, but I'm just telling you what I see and feel in these cards. You're kind of lying to yourself about something. You're avoiding facing yourself and a transformation that's about to happen. And with the Death card being the next card, it's telling me that this is happening no matter what. There's going to be a change that happens toward the end of the month probably, whether you're ready for it or not. And you're not being honest with yourself. You're being deceptive with yourself on some level. And you might not even be aware of it. That's how deep it might be. So this idea of, you know, you're using these self-help or spiritual things, ideas to help you. You're doing it, you're applying it to yourself on your own, and in this case you kind of need some outside perspective to help you, to weigh in and help you see what is real, because you're not really seeing it. You think you're stable in a certain area, but you're not, and something comes up in the middle of the month that makes you address this issue or question whatever it is. It could be a conflict with a person, it could be a belief or a situation, a job situation, a worldview. It could be a relationship. You just weren't being careful and open. Like this Page of Pentacles energy you were earlier in the month about this other project, you were not in that kind of energy of openness and free flowing. You kind of were rigid and deceiving yourself about whatever this issue is. So it's kind of like you're making an effort towards something in vain. You think that you're making progress and did the right thing, but it's not. You're not really seeing the whole picture of what's going on. You know it's a delicate situation and you're being undecided about it. Like you don't really know what to do about it, but you're not even admitting to yourself that you don't know what to do. You're not being truthful to yourself, like I've already said. So you continue to lie to yourself about something. And the way that you're approaching this is just totally wasting your time, to be honest. Until you're ready to be honest with yourself, you can't trust yourself on this, Taurus. I know that sounds really negative, but this is what I'm just feeling really strongly with these two cards, with the Seven of Swords and the Death card. It's almost like you think you got out of something or something is done, but it's not. You're just in your own little illusion about it. And you, like I said a minute ago, you really need another person to come help you see what's really going on. But you might not want that or might not be ready for it. But regardless, one way or another, the Death card happens. Toward the middle end of July, an old way, an old project, person, situation, tendency of yours, it's forced to be let go. Something happens that makes it fall away and it's let go of. It's almost like something was up in the air and then you see it in the right light, but you're still in denial about it. I know that sounds weird, but it's like you shift a little bit, but you're still not 100% maybe seeing the truthfulness of the situation. And it's painful for you. I see that it's really painful for you because you're still in resistance. The change happens whether you accept it or not. Yeah, something happens that forces you to face this. And at that point, when whatever this transformation or deep upheaval or change that happens, this rebirth, whatever happens, what you do with it is up to you. Like, I feel like you're shocked, but you're only shocked because you're still lying to yourself about it. Like, your higher self knows what's going on and wants this to happen. It was supposed to happen, whatever it is. So I see with the Queen of Swords card, I feel really strongly that there's two ways that you can deal with this. Some of you Tauruses are going to come out of this with the deep clarity and understanding. You're still hurting. It's painful. This Queen of Swords energy, someone who's in pain and sorrow. But you come out mature and having learned, you have that perception of it now. Like you've analyzed it and you understand it, but it's still at the head level. Like you haven't, it's not really reached another level besides just being in your head. It's a very rational energy, but this is where you're at right now. Like you're dealing with it in a thoughtful manner and very mature. Like you're being truthful to yourself about what it really is, and it's painful, but you're starting to face it. And then some of you, unfortunately, are just going to stay bitter and detached from whatever this is. You're going to be cut off from your emotions. You're going to be icy cold toward the people involved in this. You're no longer going to deny it, but you're going to be just in this pissed off energy. You're not going to be willing to learn. You're just going to want to stay detached and bitter. So I see these two possible outcomes for you, Taurus, but the choice is yours. Like, you can choose how to deal with this big change that happens. Yeah. I don't really feel strongly one way or another what the majority of you guys are going to choose. It might be a 50-50 thing, maybe. It feels like that. Like, some of you are going to do it the mature way, and then the other half of you are still not going to learn. Yeah. That's all I have for you, Taurus. Please comment in the comment box if this reading was relevant to you. Please let me know what you think. And if this reading was helpful for you, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks. Take care.